Hello, everybody. Going to do an Instagram live interview today, hopefully. These are always a bit tenuous and exciting and unknown because sometimes it's easy for folks to join, sometimes it isn't. So please bear with me here and be patient. And let's see if my guest joins me. And then once they join, I'll go ahead and start. But there might be an awkward minute or two. I see that she is now viewing. Okay, view request. Bang. Okay, stand by. All right. Oh,
Hi.
you got me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Can you
can you
hear
hear
me?
me?
Yep,
Oh, let's
I can hear
see.
you.
I'm going to change something here. Okay, I think my microphone is messing it up. Could you talk one more time?
Yeah. How's it going?
Now I got you. Okay, perfect. Olivia, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm going to
This-
raise my desk here so that I'm actually in frame. That'd probably be a good thing.
I
Okay,
know.
perfect. Well, you are number one of me trying to do, I don't know what the timeline is. I don't want to say a timeline that everyone will expect it, but I'm going to try to do far more actual get to know members of the Linchpin community. I've been meaning to do it, and here we are, day number
Yeah,
one.
this is exciting.
Well, I appreciate it. So if you wouldn't mind, well, I should say, when I first reached out to people, I think I posted a little something in the private Facebook group, and I posted something in the BTWB squad on the Linchpin squad of the BTWB app. And I said, hey, shoot me an email. And if this goes for anybody in the Linchpin community that follows the private track, hey, if you want to do one of these interviews with me, shoot me an email to info@crossfitlinchpin.com. Give me a little backstory on yourself, and we'll make this happen. I'll put you in the queue anyway.
Yeah.
And I said in the subject line, if you know what it is, just put the date that you started following the private track. And you put March 2018.
Right.
And I was like, oh man, she's been around for a while. So maybe give us a
Yeah.
little backstory about yourself. Who are you? Where you live in the world? What's going on there?
Yeah. My name's Olivia. I live in interior Alaska, in the middle of nowhere. And I have been doing CrossFit since 2012, and I've been
Oh wow.
doing Linchpin since 2015. Um, and I joined the private track in March of 2018. Yeah.
I think we'll see as these roll in and more people come. But right now, I would say you are most certainly in the OG camp, like for sure. You've been around for a long time, and
Yeah.
you're you're out in Alaska.
Hmm.
And where do you work out? Is it inside? Do you have like I would assume a
Yeah.
heated garage? What's the
Yeah.
deal?
So, I have a little space at my house that I have like dumbbells and a rower and like very like limited equipment type of setup. And then some friends and I have a garage gym that we set up together. And we all kind of contribute, and it's like a quarter mile from my house.
Oh, that's cool, and obviously heated.
Yeah, that is heated. Yeah, because it's like it gets to like 40 below here, so we need heat for sure.
Does it? I mean, I've never been in cold like that. I mean, is it like you see on TV, like you can't walk outside without hat and gloves? You're gonna get
Yeah, you don't,
frostbite in
I
your
mean, you don't
pockets.
want to for sure.
And
You
how,
can, but
so I live in Washington State, and so I'm gonna attribute our climate to yours, but we're with just rain and clouds, where we have rain and clouds for at least 8 months a year, and if we're lucky, we have 3 to 4 nice months. How many years do you have snow? Months do you have snow, and how many months do you have just sunshine and grass?
oh gosh, it just totally depends, but our summers are super short. Usually we will have snow up until May for sure.
Okay.
I mean, like, hopefully it won't snow in May, but we still have the snow into May, and then it starts snowing again in October. So we have like June, July, and then usually it starts like cooling down in August, and September is cooler, and then we have snow in October.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you have to like the snow for sure. So let's do a little fun Q&A.
Okay.
You've been doing this stuff for a long time, so everyone always loves to hear your favorite movements or workouts. What are high on your list of things that you like for movements or workouts?
Oh, gosh. I really like. dumbbell snatch for whatever reason. I love that. I feel like being able to put like even a 35-pound dumbbell from the floor to over your head really fast is just impressive. And when you start seeing some of those games athletes with more weight, it's awesome. I love power clean.
Oh,
Um,
good. That would be a popular one, I would bet.
yeah, I would prefer power to squat, much to the chagrin of most people. Um, those are probably two of my favorite. Like if I'm having a bad day and I just want to do something that's going to make me feel good, I would probably choose one of those. And double unders, I like double unders pretty much anytime they come up.
And what's on the opposite side of the spectrum? What don't you want to see come out of the hopper?
Uh, I really hate squatting. I know that's probably going to be funny to some people. I had an injury with my second kid, and squatting just usually if I'm going to get hurt from something, it's that. And obviously, then anything that involves that, so like a thruster.
Well, you mentioned, I think squatting's right down the middle. Some people, that's their whole world revolves around it. But
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are like you, where they'd much rather do a power something than a squat something like every day of the week. So I think you'd be in good company. I was gonna get to it a little later, but you brought up right now, pregnancies and whatnot.
Mm.
And that was in the original email that you sent when you gave a little bit of background. You said, correct me if I'm wrong, but you found Linchpin through pregnancy or after, it was somehow related to pregnancy. So what was, I guess, your Linchpin story with programming,
Yeah.
with pregnancy? How are those two related?
Well, I started doing Linchpin and the Monster Mash in 2015, which was before my first pregnancy. But um, I joined the private program after I had my baby because like I was used to doing CrossFit, but I wasn't used to like subbing. And I didn't,
Mm,
and that's, I mean, that's why my husband does it with me. Like we both do it, but that's why we ended up joining the private track was because I was getting so caught up in trying to figure out substitutions and how to, I was working out at home most of the days of the week. So I only had dumbbells or a kettlebell and just figuring out how to sub down a workout to be able to use that or to, I can't do pull-ups or I can't do a muscle up or I can't do these movements. And I was getting so caught up and so kind of uh, just like not wanting to work out at all because I couldn't figure out how to do it.
it can
But
be
to my,
frustrating for sure.
yeah, yeah, it was super frustrating. So I had my first in April or in January of 2018. And when I started working out again, I was saying that to my husband. I was saying like I can't, I have to do stuff with dumbbells because I'm working out at home all the time and I can't do a lot of movements and I'm just really, yeah, discouraged and frustrated. And he was like, well, Linchpin, like we do their programming anyway, and they have this app that you can do. And they say they have all those things. Like, what does it hurt to try it? And nothing. It doesn't hurt anything. So we joined, yeah, in March. And yeah, we've been doing it ever since. And that was one of the biggest selling points was not only that there were substitutions, like there's the easier versions that you can do, but also having the limited equipment to being able to do it at home with just a set of dumbbells.
And so what did you just kind of look at the workout of the day, look at the scaled option, look at the dumbbell option? Back then there wasn't the wild card, there's the wild card now, and then just say, okay, I've got these choices. There's also the daily video to help me understand what the workout has going on. And then here's where my body feels in my pregnancy phase,
Yeah.
and then make a little tweak or modification as needed, or
Yeah.
did one of them fit? 'Cause I highly doubt one of them fit every day. You must have done some massaging to the workout.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, there was still, because then I had another kid a couple years later and I was still obviously doing all of this at home. So yeah, I would just, take whatever I could do. With my pregnancies, a lot I did dumbbells so that I didn't have to worry about moving a barbell around my stomach.
Dumbbells are
And
awesome.
yeah, and you get so, I mean, they're kind of undersold because I swear you get stronger on a dumbbell to lead right into I mean, I've said
Hmm.
that before in the group. People are like, oh, limited equipment, and they just don't give it any credit. Limited equipment lifting is twice as hard. I
Dumbbells
stand by
are
that.
no joke.
No, oh my gosh. So yeah, I would just kind of pick around and sometimes even combine a couple of the workouts with what I could do that, that day or at that point and sub down the weight. Like that's the coolest thing. And I think it's like the best thing that I've learned from Linchpin. And the community is like that scaling is so cool. It's so important. It's so cool. It keeps you coming back. It keeps you able to work out. And I mean, I learned that a lot, especially in my second pregnancy because I was part of the Linchpin group then. And just like, see, you can scale, you can turn off the clock, you can do a different movement, you can do one that actually like fits where you're at right now. And I think that is, yeah. So I just kind of would do that. I would play around and even doing, but also, remembering like to do the movements. Just because you don't want to do it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, right? So
Right.
like
Yep.
doing that too.
The scaling part's so huge. That's something I wish I had a time machine to go back, so I
Yeah.
should have scaled more than I did, earlier than I did, more frequently than I did. I think I would have had a better trajectory. I was lucky. I didn't tweak myself or have anything happen like that, but I don't think I made the progress I could have. And I think I just ingrained some bad movement patterns in my head that I didn't have to do that, so I had to then go back and relearn those things
Yeah.
after the fact. But like, we say it all the time. I think some people think it's, I don't know, like an empty catchphrase, but like scaling really is cool. And truth
Yeah.
be told, more people should probably scale
Yeah.
more. The workout of the day, it might fit you perfectly, but it really is just a recommendation
Yeah.
based upon what we did yesterday, the day before, and based on what we're going to do tomorrow. Like it's a recommendation that fits for those global needs of below parallel overhead, the loading compared to where we are and where we're going. But everyone should feel that freedom to massage and tweak it and modify it a little bit. Like that's a good thing. So how many days a week do you work out now? And out of those days, how many would you say you scale or modify the workout?
Well, I work out at least 5 days a week, and then I do some, like I usually try to do like active
Okay.
recovery or something on the other day. I mean, at least one of the other days. It kind of depends, obviously, because I've got two kids, so
Yes,
um,
I understand.
so what I try for, I guess I should say, is 5 days a week, and I do at least one day, probably more like two that are limited equipment, and I do at least one day where I don't turn on a clock at all, and that's something that I've like kind of adapted in the last 3 years, and I think it's super important too. Like you schedule at least one workout a week that is, for time or not, and I think. Like you were kind of saying this before, but I think like old school CrossFit was like, just do it. Like, this is the recommended, and you go in and you do the weight that we say you do, and that's what you do, and you do exactly what we said. And there was kind of like a stigma about scaling. And that's one thing that I love about the group too, is just like that it is like so much a part of what we do. Like you don't need to do this for time. If your body is not ready to do this for time, if you're going to have better form if you turn off the clock, if you're going to have better form if you take 20 pounds off the bar, like that is so important. And I've gotten so much stronger from doing substitutes, from turning
Mm-hmm.
off the clock, from using a dumbbell. So like I think that is really important in the programming and in what I do every week. I do, yeah. So I do at least two that are limited equipment that are just at my house, not going into a barbell, anything like that. And I do at least one that is not for time.
I love the not for time days.
Yeah, me too.
I love them. I didn't do them for years and years,
Yeah.
and they're a recent evolution just in as I've tried to learn more and more about what works and what doesn't work and what I think should be implemented over the years. That just felt something that leapt out to me that is like, this should happen. And because I think you can burn it down every day, but I don't think you'll be doing CrossFit 10 years from now.
Yeah.
So I think there's some different decisions that could be made that will help people, if I do check with them 10 years from now, still actually be doing. And that's the goal. Who cares if you're still going hard a month from now? Whoop-de-doo. Are you still working out, feeling good with your knees, back, and shoulders like 10 years from now? Like, then you're winning.
Right.
And that's your winning for sure. So,
yeah, I think some of it is like a big, like people get really, yeah, caught up on right now, and it's really about longevity. And if you're not having fun with it, for one thing, you're not gonna keep doing it. And sometimes the days that you turn off the clock are more important because you enjoy it more, right? Because you're remembering, like working out is great to be healthy, but if you're not enjoying it, you're not gonna stick with it consistently. I won't anyway.
I would have to say, for sure, and you mentioned a second ago, like chatting with people in the community
Yeah.
about scaling and all that stuff. I swear that people, obviously I have a vested interest in Linchpin, so people should question what I say if
Right.
I say it's good or bad or whatever. And I always brag about the community, and say that's really what makes it great. It's, I like to put forth what I consider the best workouts in the world. But that being said, those workouts pale in comparison to the community. Like the community is
It's
crazy.
true.
People are like, well, how can that be? It's online. It can't happen. But so, you tell me what's been your experience with your quote unquote, virtual friends.
It's insane. Like you get these people that you just start to like interact with them like all the time because they know all the pain that you're going through. But just like they're real people, and they are just the heart of the community is so strong to take care of each other. I mean, like I have like real friends now. I've never met them. They live in the lower 48, hundreds and thousands of miles away. Ben Gobert over in France, right?
Right.
And we're all chasing him all the time. But there's people that like they just are, I don't know. I've seen a lot of it in the last year, especially like my son, he's 2, but when he was 1, he got super sick. And it was right in the middle of when we were doing last year
That
when we were doing the
must have been horrifically scary, by the way, with a 1-year-old.
right. Yeah, it was terrifying. So we had him in the hospital, and he had to do all these things, and like the community was just kept checking in on me. Like people that don't know me, they've never met me, they've never met my kid, and they were like, "What's going on?" And you see it all the time in the feed. Somebody will say, "This is going on in my life." And people that don't know them are like, "What can we do? How can we support you?" Or even like the whole thing we have where that I think Amy Bishop helped set
Yeah,
it up,
Amy does it.
where you can donate to pay for somebody else's linchpin so that they can stay in the community if they're going through a hard time. Or, it's just like, it's so insane. And I've made really good friends. I mean, Jen and I interact all the time. She's one of like my good friends. If I'm having a bad day, I'm just like, talk me down, or, there's just,
She was the queen of the
yeah,
dumbbells for a while, and she bought herself
yeah,
a barbell.
yeah. And I'll be like, I don't want to do this workout. And she's like, you need to go and do it. You need to go pick up the weight, and you just need to do it. You're being a wimp. But like, there's just so much support. And, I have all these people that now that I'm like, I just interact with them, and I've never met them, but it's positive too. Cause I think, another part of burning out is if you feel like isolated,
Mm.
or I mean, for me, I am in the middle of Alaska. We don't go to a conventional gym. I mean, like I have friends around, but very infrequently, like when I'm working out. And that can be like really discouraging to want to continue doing it, especially if you're having like a hard time with the movements or whatever. And I just like I've gotten into like, posting some of the videos of the workout that I do on my stories, and then like all of a sudden there's like these 10 messages from somebody, who's done the workout, and they're like, dude, that was so terrible. That one hurt the whole way through. Got Fran lung or whatever. And or they'll be like, hey.
Oh, I think I lost you there. Are you good?
It's so positive, and it's so, people caring about other people, even people that are forever away. I mean, to an extreme sometimes. I mean, during the summer we did that test 13 with Knossos, right?
Right, over in Greece.
That's not something you just do
No,
on a whim.
I
And
think I think he does it once a month.
God, I know he's insane, but that's something that you've created, is that insanity. So
Well, wait, I can't but the crazy thing is, I often just feel like my wife and I talk about this all the time. Like, I don't know, I don't know if we got really lucky or what the deal is, because the people are crazy. Like you mentioned, Amy Bishop, like
Yeah,
that
that's
wasn't
insane.
my idea. Like there's
Yeah.
a lot of great things that happen in our community, not my idea. Like just some cool, wonderful member of the community said, "Hey, this would be a good idea. Do you think it's a good idea?" I'm like, "Jesus, sounds great." And they just go, "Okay, I'll champion the cause and run with it." And they
Yeah.
just do it. Like it's
Yeah.
insane. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's,
So
I think that like I don't know. It says a lot about you. I think that you're drawing all of these people in because I think that like when you put out that really positive energy and I mean, it draws people to you, and that's the family that you create around you. And I think it says a lot about you and the coach you are and what you've created, that those are the people that stay, right? Because I'm sure other people come, but the people that stay and join the family are that positivity.
yeah, well, obviously it's a big world out there, right? There's a ton, I don't lie to anybody. There's a ton of programs out there. There's a ton of everyone, and everyone's going to have a different feel, a different vibe, different principles, different whatever, and find the one that fits
Right.
you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you want to be somewhere that when you're around those people, like you mentioned, you're like, yeah, this feels right. This feels like home, and this is some place that's good to go. And so, yeah, we're going to try to keep doing what we're doing. Well, let me ask you two questions real quick to wrap it up. Number one, when you and your husband work out, is it a friendly competition or is it a ferocious competition?
For as long as I've been doing CrossFit, I'm not very good at it, I would say.
You and me
So,
both.
so it's like he's more like Ben Gobert's competition and not mine, I would say.
Fair enough.
So it's more friendly. I mean, I don't like it when he coaches me.
Right.
No, I've gotten a lot better about that. In the beginning, it was not as friendly as it is now. But yeah, every once in a while, if we can, we haul our kids to the gym with us a lot, which I think is awesome because they're into it now. My daughter's 5. She's better on the rings than I am. She is just so fearless. She'll swing around and flip upside down. She can do skin the cats. I mean, like,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
that's just, yeah, and that's just like because she does it. She can do a pull up. She's 5. I could not do that. I
That's
can barely do it now.
incredible.
Yeah, I love that. So it's definitely like a part of our family now. And when we can, we will do like a partner workout and, work it into the programming or do one that you've scheduled. But so it's definitely a lot more friendly because I know that he's not my competition. I can't hit that now.
Man, we've got a 13 and 11-year-old boys who have grown up watching everybody work
Right,
out. They have absolutely no interest in it in any way, shape, or form. They play sports, like they're very
right.
athletic and they do that, so we don't push it on them because I don't think
Mhm.
that would end well if I pushed it on them. But with our daughter, who's 20 or 21 months old, I'm secretly hoping that she's going to be the
Gets into
one
it.
that, for whatever reason, just starts like, show me how to deadlift, or I want to
Right.
play box jumps. And I'll be like, okay, here we
Yeah,
go. You
this
got
is
it.
it. It's so exciting. Yeah, my daughter loves it, and she's been there. I mean, like when I worked out at home, obviously she would just be here. But when I go over to our garage gym, I take her with me, and I have since I have pictures and videos of her at like 10 months old sitting with playing with a kettlebell, and now she wants to be a part of the workout. So we've got a 6-inch box that she'll do box jump, and she had videos of her at like a year doing burpees with this little like unicorn horn ponytail. She just loved it so much, and that's nothing other than being around it because I don't want to like force something, right? But I
Just
love it. I love that she's in it.
imagine, I mean, just imagine, how late we got into
I
functional
know.
movement. Imagine if she just sticks with it from her entire
It's gonna
life.
be insane. She's gonna be just so strong. I love it. And I love that I can like give that to her because I come from a generation where it was like skinny, right? Like that was what was pushed is, being skinny and
Mhm.
losing weight. And it was like a huge mental thing for me getting into CrossFit, having to gain weight and gain strength and be strong. And that is the push now. And I'm so excited for her to grow up in more of that type of mentality of being strong. And that's kind of what we talk about now. Yeah, like you're so strong. And her and my son's 2, and they'll just be like, "Oh, mom, you're so strong." Or they'll see like a CrossFit video, like, "Oh, mom, is that you?" And I'm like, "Sure, yeah, that's me. I'll
Uh,
take it."
that is 100% awesome, and I probably could not think of a better note or thought to probably close this out on. I mean, that's a positive message for people, and that's what I'm trying to raise my daughter in as well. So all I can say is, Olivia, thank you so much for, you are a part of what makes Linchpin special in my mind. I don't take that lightly. So thank you for being who you are in the community, and I'm sure I'll see you in the Facebook group.
Thank you. And thank you for everything you do for us. It's not taken lightly, and it definitely changes lives.
Well, we'll keep doing it. Enjoy another day out there in snowy Alaska.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, take care.